most common errors you're going to get with Go dependencies on private modules. And this video is going to relate to a lot of different things all at the same time, but it's for people who want to build Go projects that have dependencies on private modules. I made another video where I go through the 5 different ways to get around this. This one is going to have more hands-on. It's going to be more, this is exactly what the error looks like, and this is how you fix the error. And we're also going to talk about some an option number 6, which you may not have thought of, called Go vendoring, to get around this problem, particularly in the case where your entire enterprise is effectively full of private repos now because you are on Go Enterprise Cloud, which has turned every one of your otherwise public enterprise server repos into private inner source repos under a specific organization, which Go hates. Go absolutely hates private things. It wasn't set up to do it. Everything that's ever been done to have to deal with private modules has always been tacked on, and sometimes in a kind of not so clear way. So we're going to go through all those errors right now. The first error is this. So let me summarize really quick. We have a couple of accounts here. We have the GHTest2 account, which is this is with it's just an account on GitHub where we're creating an application that we want to use our package. So we're going to go use this. We want to use this private package, which has print hello world in it. And this is, by the way, these Tmux windows are the equivalent to separate accounts, as if I was logged into separate machines. You can see the account here, and you can see they're all the same container, but it's effectively different accounts. So pretend like these are different users, all right? And all of these users are under the same organization. The organization is GHTest.org2. So these repos, I'm sorry, these users, these GitHub accounts have read access to each other, and that's covered in a separate video, but they're all under the same organization. So to be very precise, RWX Rob-GHTest2 account has ownership and read and write access to Go command with privdep only. Nobody else in the organization can see that. However, its dependency is, and this is why we're doing the video, it has a dependency on a repo that started out owned by somebody else and got moved into the organization as if simulating a migration, such as under Enterprise Cloud Inner Source. It has been, this private Go package was migrated into here, and we're going to now look at that. So here it is. The first thing you'll notice is when we did the migration, actually, I forgot to change the module path line. It is very important that you understand, if you are migrating to a different GitHub location, your Go code will have to be touched. It will have to be changed. You'll have to change the module line, as you can see here, and you'll have to upgrade the patch level of the version through tagging. So, you can look at the tag. Oops. There it is, version 002. There's a little Perl error there because of the container. So, anyway, that's what's up. And we so again, the library that we now have a dependency on that contains the code we want to run in this private repo is now owned by this organization, and the GHTest1 user has, because it's, test1 user is also the owner of the organization in this case. So the RWX Rob GHTest.org2 is the organizational path name for the package, but you can see that this is under the GHTest1 account. It's as if this account user is just working on this and maintaining this. So anybody with write access in the organization, I have Rob Test1, Test2, and Test3. All of these people have different membership on the different things. As you can see, this person has ownership, has admin on everything because they're the owner of the organization. We have GHTest2, which has a bunch of private repos, and you can see they have read on everything only by design. uh, for the record, this used to have admin access on private Go package because it was transferred to the organization by this GHTest2 account originally, and I had to take away the read-only access to that repo. This is probably the content for another video, but whatever. So RWXRob test 3, we can see here what access they have. Same as the other one, they have no access to anything. So this is a simulated organization with simulated access to the organization as you would set up in a GitHub Enterprise Cloud environment. And you can see that each of those accounts has, one of 3 levels of access to be granted to each repo. By default, by the way, any new member of the organization has read-only access. I don't know if your organization has set it up to do that same thing. I don't even know if my organization has set it up to do that same default, but that is the default on GitHub. So what does this have to do with Go now, right? So we now have this library that has been tagged VIC. I forget what my tag command is actually. Latest and exit. No, let's see. Test tag F push. No. VIC latest. I don't remember how to. There it is. Git tag. I guess that just gets okay. So those are the tags on here. And we had to do that when we were doing the migration. So what I'm trying to say here is that this private Go package is private, but it is now ready to be used. The problem is that it's private. It's private. And so I'm going to show you now the errors that you're going to get that are very, very cryptic when you're first just coming to Go here. Like, what the heck is this error about? And you just want to use the thing, right? So the first thing you might do is you write your little program, you put your little import here, and then you go to build it and you forget that you need to do a go get. It's very common. And you see this error. It's like, nope, you need to get this module. You got to add it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. So you come over here and you do your go get. You go cut and paste this. And you're going to do your go get and you're going to get this error. You're like, what the heck is this error? Okay, so this error says, basically, I have no way to even check on the repo. This is Go trying to use Git to get the information by default for this module, the module dependency, the private Go package module, and it can't do it because it assumes HTTPS authentication by default. Now, there's 2 ways to get around this problem. The first way you're going to read about a lot, and that's using a personal access token, which is an HTTPS thing. There's another way, some people will say is the official way, and that is to use a .NET-RC file, which Go will observe beyond anything else before it even gets to Git, right? If there's a .NET-RC file, it'll use the HTTPS credentials in the .NET-RC file for a specific domain, and it will go get those things. You can look at those 2 ways. The most common workaround for this, however, is, and this is kind of intuitive, is to get Go to use SSH for GitHub, because GitHub, most of the time, most of us are still using SSH keys for that because we don't want to have to deal with refreshing a pat every 180 days or whatever. Even though we might be using the GitHub command line tool, which of course requires a personal access token. That is a deep, deep rabbit hole we're not going to go down now. What we want to do is get this to use SSH instead of HTTP. So the command for that, and you can actually type this in, but I'm going to show you the command. I actually queued it up here someplace. There we go. This command is a good one to memorize because you can put it in your CI/CD. If you want to put this in your CI/CD actions, you can put it as a run line in your GitHub Actions, and this will actually tell Git itself to use SSH instead of HTTPS. By the way, do not forget this trailing slash. I must have lost 40 minutes on that. So by doing that, you can add that in there. If you want to, you can just go in and add it instead. You can go in here and add it right here and add those lines just like anything else. Okay, as soon as you have that, now Go is going to use Git. And when it tries to use Git, it will know to try to use SSH instead of HTTPS. So this is Go attempting to use Git, and then Git seeing its configuration saying, hey, for a GitHub.com domain, if you're getting an HTTPS, try SSH instead. So that's what's going on behind the scenes. And so then we do our go get, and we get another error, and you're like pulling the remaining hair you have out. What the hell is this about? This is because your Go is trying to do its regular, very secure check of the checksum to make sure that your package you're trying to get is the actual package. And so there is a cache out there that it protects you. And by the way, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. You should be happy you're getting this error. This means that you're protected. This means that Go is trying to make sure that you're actually downloading the thing that hasn't been tampered with, unlike NPM did some years ago, which allowed the biggest internet worm in history. So, you want to be happy that this exists, but right now it's annoying because it's like, we are not, it's doing some really stupid stuff. It's like, why, what terminal, what? It's trying to prompt you for things. This is really just because it's trying to authenticate against the proxy server, the checksum check. And there's a lot of ways to get around this, but the most standard way to get around this is to set Go private. And Go private uses a glob. So you can say for github.com, in this case, we're going to be very precise. We're going to say, I don't want this thing to be, I only want this one to be, if you just put this part without the other part, it will do it for the entire thing. That means it will never check sums at all. There are two more environment variables. There's go no sum, and go, I think, no proxy. And you might want to read about those, search about those and understand them. They allow different granularity in how you do this. But for our cases right now, we just want to add this in, and definitely you might want to add this to your either you're adding it to your CI/CD and you're setting that environment variable, or you're adding it to, if you're just doing an interactive user, you probably want to put that in your own configuration file, your bash RC somehow. But by exporting that now, when we try to do that same command, now we're going to get through. And you can see that it went ahead and it added it. It added version 0.0.2 instead of that big long 0.0.0. No, without a tag. By the way, please tag your, please tag your Go packages. Do I have to say this? I guess I do. So many people don't. On major projects, they're untagged. They have dependencies on them. And I made a whole ranty video about people who are not using Semver, particularly for Go. And please go check that out. So you want that, right? Even if it's that level. Okay, so now what can I do? Can I do my build? Go build. This is the moment of success. I could go build, I could go install, and I could go command, blah, 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 right? And I mean, you guys know this, right? I could do, actually, let's do this. Let's do go build, dash show hello. I think that'll work, right? /hello, yay, hello world. And that works, right? But here's the problem. What happens when you want to put all that into CI/CD of some kind, right? How are you going to do that? That gets very, very messy. And all I'm going to say is go watch the video about the 5 different ways to build in CI/CD. And it talks about this pretend idea of having multiple users, right? On the command line, we just added go priv, but how on earth would you authenticate as, this particular user? It's a tough question, and there's a 45-minute video about it. But there's also a much better answer, and it involves something called Go vendoring, which should probably have its own video, but I'm going to show it to you anyway right here. So kind of every stupid folder. Why would you complain in the middle of my video about using Linux? Just to troll me, I guess. Not yet. We're doing a video here, and then we'll be done in a second. Okay, so let's do this. All right, we've got hello here, but so let's consider a couple cases once again. What happens when that that person, there's many reasons. You know what? I'm going to do a separate video about Go vendoring. I'm going to do a separate video about Go vendoring. Go watch that other video. You ready? Go watch the video about Go vendoring because it might help you get past the problem. This video has been about how to get past those major errors and do your builds. And we'll end the video there, and I'll make another video about vendoring, and I'll do it right away.